Lee Diem was carrying the bee out of the Biso Kukai organization when Tommy appeared to inquire about him. However, Diem no longer wanted to serve Biso Kukai. He had decided to betray them. He was their longest-serving member and special culinary advisor. G. Zinbad didn't understand why he wanted to leave. Star Run also appeared. He knew Diem had joined the organization only to obtain that special thing, something that Star Run wouldn't give him even if he died. Tommy prepared to attack. G-Pat pulled out a straw. Star Sun drew his sword and advanced, preparing to end the life of the man. But with a flick of his hand, all three were thrown far away. He immediately unleashed a blue sphere that pierced through space, causing the entire castle to explode, everything collapsing. Biso Kukai's group was buried under rubble. If Diem had attacked properly, they wouldn't have survived. He then took out the Endless Bee, a type of bee that would transport him to the world's #1 ingredients. While living there, the bee was released. It drew an infinite circle and went to a distant place. He spread his wings and followed the footsteps of the brown bee. The three people, including Biso Kukai, could only stand there, angry but not daring to do anything to him. Somewhere far away, there was a strange sunflower garden facing the starry sky. In front of that garden, a mysterious old woman was gazing at the breathtaking scenery. In the land of candy, a huge food festival was taking place. There was even a music stage, inviting all the famous bands to entertain the audience. They helped their diners enjoy the food more fully. In such a wonderful place, it couldn't be without the presence of the gluttonous Toriko. Both Matsu and Zin also followed him on this trip. Toriko came mainly to eat. Zin came here just to take a bite of Toriko, not caring about the food or drink. Matsu came here to lubricate her car a bit, as he was an architect. So this area, this candy-making land, is thriving. But thanks to my appetite, Rico, this place is at extremely high risk of closing down soon. Looking at his distraught face and idiotic smile, you can tell he's at the depths of despair. Suddenly, Teepei appears. He also finds the park very interesting. He plays everything from the Ferris wheel to the roller coaster. All four of them land safely at the food court. Wherever they go, they devour everything. Each crunching sound is a warning bell for Smy's family to prepare to sell their house and move to an island. They're practically eating up his future and his family. Teepei isn't here just to enjoy the delicious food. His main purpose is to ask me, D, to take him to Akashia's kitchen with Toriko. Toriko is immediately astonished. This is the closed-down ecotourism area of Izo. Except for the high-ranking members of Izo, no one knows about it. It's the former ecotourism area #1, nicknamed Akashia's Kitchen. Teepei has asked his master for help. An investigation into this habitat reveals a legend that Biso Kushin Axia left behind his special menu recipe and ingredients there. It's a legendary menu that can satisfy the hearts of men who've just been dumped. They board a plane, and the pilot is Tomo. On the flight, Toriko is full of confidence, believing he'll devour the legendary menu. Tina is reporting the latest news from the Gomes wholesale and retail market. Having just finished her broadcast, she eagerly goes to gather more information. The director appears, scaring her half to death. Normally, this boss is always trying to torment her in various ways. This time, she's already past her shift, and he's still coming to find fault with her. No way, little one. The director orders her to go to the library to search for some documents. While badmouthing her boss, she unluckily sneezes, slips, and falls to the ground, causing several bookshelves to collapse. Cleaning up this mess will take forever. In a twist of fate, she finds a picture. That picture showed Suno standing next to a mysterious woman. Her nose twitched, and she sensed something. She was sure this picture would lead her to some juicy news. Everyone was excited about this trip. They were getting closer to Acacia's legendary menu. Suddenly, Tomu spoke up. Maybe I need to get more insurance for my beloved helicopter. Ahead of them was a huge whirlwind, swallowing everything around it. This was one of the 7 wonders of Gomet, the Hunger Triangle, meaning it resembled the pyramids on Google Maps. Any ship or plane that entered the area between the 3 points would immediately disappear from the map, as if the ship had been swallowed by the sea. That's why it's called the Hunger Triangle. But Akashia's kitchen was located in the center of the Hunger Triangle. Hearing this, Matsui wanted to run home and hide under her mother's skirt. Everyone buckled their seatbelts, making Matsui panic. Tomu accelerated, guiding the helicopter through the whirlwind outside. Just as they entered the area, the helicopter's fuselage had burst, and bad luck still hadn't let them go. Tommy, disguised as the pilot, was dancing wildly to the music, steering the helicopter to quickly escape the monstrous creature. But it didn't stop there. 8-headed snakes appeared, attacking the helicopter fiercely. Tommy had to use his 8-headed snake fighting skills to escape the demonic onslaught. Just as he escaped the monsters, lightning struck, causing one of the helicopter's wings to explode. Komatsu screamed, "If Toriko hadn't told me to shut up, I would have swallowed my tongue." The helicopter lost control, spinning wildly in the sky. At that moment, the light of the party appeared, saving the lives of those caught in this turbulent flight. They thought they were safe, but the entire team nearly perished when they crashed into a wall. Luckily, with his expert piloting skills, Tommy Yu steered the helicopter, saving the team from a certain defeat. Finally, they landed safely in the sea. The hatch opened, and a beautiful view unfolded before them, encompassing the island. The island was a dome-shaped structure, bathed in the brilliant sunlight that made Akashia's kitchen even more dazzling and beautiful. The four of them would sail to the island, while Tomu would wait on the plane for news. He hoped they would bring back the famous Akashi menu so he could enjoy those legendary dishes. They approached the island, but a big problem arose. The island was encased in a dome, leaving them unsure how to get inside. There was no entrance. If there was no door, the only way was to forcefully pierce through the protective layer. Thinking this, I moved my spear towards the dome, but it remained completely undamaged. This reckless act worried Tomu immensely. What if a host of dangerous creatures emerged because he had punched a hole? Remember, this is the most dangerous habitat. Komatsu realized something strange. A creature had easily slipped through the dome. He tapped a few times and leaned against it, causing it to slip inside. All four of them slipped through the secret entrance. It looked like a tunnel, made from the shell of an Ori Kalem. It was a creature living in the Goem's world. Its shell was harder than diamond. Emerging from the tunnel, they arrived at an endless plain. Before them were countless creatures flying in the sea, rare fish, and beautiful coral formations adorning the ocean's beauty. Flowers bloomed profusely on the trees. The fire dragon, possessing the image of Mount Fuji, and thousands of ancient structures, still stand here, all together, creating an incredibly majestic island. Acacia. This is where all the unique ingredients are gathered. In Bin Duong, Tina went to Setsuno's restaurant to investigate the identity of the mysterious woman beside her. She was overjoyed that after decades, her beauty hadn't faded at all. The woman's identity was revealed. She and Setsuno had trained together in cooking when they were young. Setsuno was a talented chef. Considered a national treasure, the person who trained alongside her must also be no ordinary person. Just then, the con artist appeared. He had just entered and caused a commotion in the restaurant, so the owner refused to serve him. He and his gang had searched every nook and cranny of the town on Google Maps, but still couldn't find anything to eat because all the restaurants here sold food at exorbitant prices. So he and his rascals thought that if they went to a small eatery, the food would be cheaper, but of lower quality. Since they had no money, he had to accept it. Tina was angry because he heard him speaking extremely rudely to the national treasure. The two then argued loudly. The old woman ignored them, looked at a picture, and smiled. The team continued their journey and came across a cabbage field. Upon arrival, everyone started eating heartily. Suddenly, a savanna dragon passed by. This species is extinct in the outside world. As it was about to land, it was struck by a powerful electric eel. It bit back at the eel, causing it to release its grip. This creature emits very strong electromagnetic waves. Perhaps it is the reason the airplane clock shattered in front of them. They are an ancient ruin, destroyed and covered with Indian characters. According to the elders, this place was created by Nitro, the one who destroyed this area. Akashia was the first to discover it. Initially, this habitat was established to study the ruins. Teiji discovered a strange point on top of the tomb, a sunflower garden with a halo. It stores sunlight. It is also called by others the Little Sun. People say that Nitro left it here, and this is an ingredient in Akashia's special menu. Komatsu was about to touch a flower when suddenly a strange sound appeared. Terry, quick as lightning, grabbed the woman. "No, you're dead." The woman and the cat landed in front of them. She wanted them to stay away from the flowers. She would kill anyone who dared approach them. Terry tried to explain. She let him know he wasn't her enemy. Suddenly, she discovered an endless swarm of bees. The clear blue sky turned black, signaling impending doom. Ozeka Clam was pierced through in the fog. Gin appeared. Perhaps he had come to claim the flowers. He approached the pink-haired girl, seemingly preparing to destroy the garden. He wasn't here to find Acacia's menu, but something deeper. He was about to unleash his attack when Toriko rushed forward to stop him, but with a single kick, he sent him far from the shore. Gin fired a smoke bomb at him, immediately retaliating and knocking her over. Teppei charged forward to solo him, but before he could land 3 punches, he was kicked out of the game. With enough energy, he fired a sphere forward. Komatsu stubbornly rushed in to save the pink-haired girl. Luckily for the two bosses quickly moved the vehicles away. Gin's attack exploded the top of the mausoleum, killing all the sunflowers. The owner was freed from the attack. Hidden in the castle of the Biso Kukai organization, they were monitoring Gim with a CT robot, so they knew that the people on the island had hidden Acacia's special menu and its ingredients. Determined to get the ingredients before they fell into Green's hands, Toriko woke up to find the girl in the pink dress cooking for him. He immediately went to look for her. Just then, Matsu returned with some firewood in his hand. Toriko tried to stand up to find the others. At this moment, the girl in the pink dress told him that EJ had carried the others on his back and left the area. She gave him a bowl of porridge. He took a bite and found it very delicious, so he ate quickly. Komatsu was the one who got to try the next dish. He also found it very tasty. It must be snow sugar, a dish that helps people quickly restore their vitality. Both of them praised the food. She was very happy. After Toriko finished eating, his muscles had grown bigger and his wounds had healed, thanks to his Gomes cells. At this point, Toriko became curious. Who is this beautiful lady? She is the director of this habitat. Her name is Azame, and she is in charge here. Accompanying her is the cute cat Pochi. She is a model employee, a boss and a worker, and she also runs a one-member corporation. Komatsu, who was preparing the food, was amazed by her extravagance. Azame used beefit fish to cook. This type is extremely rare and not sold on the market. Azame, seeing his cooking skills, was also impressed. The combination of vegetables and incredibly impressive skills showed her that he was definitely a good chef, judging by the ingredients and spices used in the dish. Komatsu guessed Azame was a chef with excellent skills. Hearing that title, she couldn't help but feel sad. She became even more melancholic when she saw Matsu and Toriko, a perfect pair. A long time ago, she had been involved with a biso kuja. The appetizer in their lavish menu was sunflowers, which they found here. Therefore, when the flowers bloomed in this habitat, she volunteered to take care of it, and as she looked at the flowers, she always thought that person would return. But the worst thing happened. The relic in the Gomes world was a freezer created by nitro. The sunflower halo took energy from sunlight, converted it, and transmitted it to the freezer through underground cables. The sunflower was the only power source for the freezer. When the freezer lost its power supply, the raw materials would thaw and be revived. At this moment, the alien robot group shot beams at the two of them. Toriko immediately removed the ice, preparing for battle. In front of him was the trio of blue, red, purple, and yellow. At this moment, the Acacia relic began to open, and the raw materials inside began to thaw. Zin and TP's team, the robot team chasing them, quickly fired smoke at them and escaped. On Toriko's side, he was very angry because they ruined his wonderful meal. He quickly rushed in and took them down. Invisibility and Ajama also quickly subdued the robots. Only Matsu, not knowing any martial arts, was being taken to the operating table by this robot. He prepared. When the robot was torn apart, the girl from falling from the sky unleashed poison towards it, causing the robot to explode into pieces. She also received an invitation from Teppei to come here to collect materials. He thought he was the only one invited, but unexpectedly, Teppei and Terry were fighting fiercely against several robots, using their guns to shoot the silver-haired guy. But then the purple-haired girl suddenly appeared, lunging at Zippo in a difficult moment. San appeared from nowhere, unleashing a move to defeat the enemy. Princess Cloudhair stood on the mountaintop, striking a beautiful pose before the photo was taken. The battle continued. Toriko unleashed his 5 fists, knocking the robot down. Coco was racing with an orange robot. He shot poison at it, but the robot played dirty, lunging to pull him to the ground. He would be at a disadvantage in the battle. Mipochi came, threw her onto his back, and carried her away. Just then, a robot hit her in the groin, instantly transforming her back into a 70-year-old woman. Matsu was shocked. The robot and Coco both drew their swords. Toriko also increased his muscle mass, preparing his final move. Both sides charged at each other, vying for victory or defeat. Toriko and Gia were clearly identified, and the two girls were brought to the board. The teacher also cut the robot in half. The core control of a robot had escaped. Secrets had been revealed, and Alame had been rejuvenated using an item called a Mosi Parkson. This left the young men listening confused. At Mrs. Sessional Tina's shop, they had the first information about the other woman. She was Asama, a retired chef. They didn't know where the other woman was. Just then, Jiso and Ichi appeared, inviting Mrs. Sesuno to go out. Rosa also appeared shortly after. They announced that the ingredients in the refrigerator in the Gomez world would be revived. Gim had recklessly awakened the monster, so they wanted to go before then to stop him. Returning to the past, Gim was once obsessed with finding a more extravagant menu than others. He had forgotten his original purpose, which was to eat delicious food, so he decided to join Bisokuai to become stronger. Witness his current madness, Azame determined to forget their past love and bring him to his final resting place. Shani Jin and TP reunited with Toriko's group. All three were incredibly surprised when the old woman instantly transformed into a stunningly beautiful woman. This skill made Sunny constantly ask Alzame throughout the journey, "How the hell did you do that? Teach me." This guy was obsessed. "Oh no!" When they arrived, things were already terrible. The thawing process was slowly melting away. Now, with their old love calling, even the matchstick wouldn't listen. Sunny unleashed a move towards him, but not only was his attack neutralized, he counterattacked, exploding the mountain they were standing on. This technique was terrifying. Finally, someone made the four emperors fear him. This group needs to exercise before eating, right? Everyone rushed forward simultaneously. He fired his attacks, forcing them apart. Then, one by one, they unleashed their attacks towards him, but it seemed none of their attacks could penetrate the shield. Toriko and Coco closed in, launching physical attacks, but before they could reach him, they were both hit. TP held a seed of iron lock in his hand, which could seal the refrigerator door. TP was rushing towards the refrigerator when Guy Diem threw a firecracker. Duan immediately sprayed cold smoke, saving the wolf cub and TP from being burned to death. Winning against Guy Diem was truly too much for Tam Thien Huang. The three emperors saw a strange black shadow in the sky. At that moment, the dome was pierced, and a giant beetle appeared, riding on its back. It was Bisokuai's sous-chef, Grinbad. He gave a devilish smile, making Shoan almost vomit. Now things were difficult. Fighting both Guy Diem and GZ, the victory rate had dropped to negative infinity. Granpad unexpectedly blew a powerful breath towards Vizim, but he remained unharmed. He continued to attack him with similar blows, but when Diem used his move, he covered Vizim's mouth, preventing him from blowing any more air. Tam Thien Huang continued to charge forward, but their moves were useless. Every move they made was easily kicked away by him. From 1,000 yards away, the poisonous bullets of the girl, the teeth-binding techniques of Sani, or the star and disc, along with Toriko's five-fist technique, were nothing to him. After the battle with the GT robot, Toriko no longer had enough strength to fight him. He needed to eat something to restore his strength. He was hoping to eat the ingredients of Acacia to regain his power and defeat that tough matchstick guy. The thawing was complete, the secret ingredient was revived, and the entire body of the black dragon hissed, its fins on its back shining with a diamond color. This was the legendary fire dragon's lair. It was a legendary beast living in the Gomez world. From 1,000 years ago, it would devour everything in its path. Even the legendary Cold Go was wiped out in an instant. The world stood on the brink of apocalypse just because of this beast. Its body was Ender York. Even in his wildest dreams, he wouldn't have imagined that the ingredient in Acacia's menu was this N-type creature. Quickly approaching it, Park saw the demon's terrifying power. "Call your pet back and run as fast as you can out of this land. The fire dragon's tomb is preparing to capture my team. While we're migrating, Deborah appears. Don't be arrogant with the aura of the tank. The dragon demon is terrified and retreats far away. I'm surprised by Deborah's appearance. You didn't call this prisoner here, how could he know? Deborah just happened to hear the news. Do you think you can fool me and monopolize this legendary material all by yourself? How do you know when everything is finished? Everything was fine, but he brought him back to the Juventus club. But before going to prison, he had to devour this dragon. The 4 heavenly emperors were complete. The Super Sentai team was ready for battle. Limousine took Mrs. Sesuno's group to Misokwai and Ijo's place. At this moment, Star Jun's team also arrived. He intended to join the battle with Ichi, but Apsado had already prepared GT robots to fight them. The limousine was ambushed and fell into the sea. In front of them were thousands of robots. It had been a long time since they were surrounded by wild beasts in the Gomes world. The old men and women were fighting together for the first time. Dizo transformed into a giant old man, much to Mrs. Sasuno's delight. They had to quickly destroy the robots to meet Ajama. Mrs. Jetsuno glided across the water, each robot falling into the sea. Dizo used his gun to fire a barrage of shots, causing the robots to explode. Ichi only needed to snap his fingers to take down a robot. He calmly turned to ask Josaku about sealing the monster. Teposaku's object, he was certain he had passed on all his experience to his disciple and made a firm promise that his favorite student would be able to seal it. If he knew that Tepai had lost the seed, he would surely be very sad. The robots collided with each other. It looked like the two of them were using them as balls to play ball in the sky. The journey was intense. Concentrating on a punch, he sent the robots flying, causing them to explode in a chain reaction in the sky. Zojikot unleashed an attack towards Ender. Although hit, it immediately recovered and extended its long leg to strike him. But luckily, Dewey rushed to save it in time. Zojikot's hand dug deep into the roots and devoured the nutrients of the Sanish tree, drawing his attention. He retaliated with a huge blow, but the dragon used all its strength. The tables were turned, and he used the same technique. Return the favor. He went far away and took the full force of the attack. Coco, moving swiftly like lightning, ran onto the dragon and delivered a swift slash, but it was still no match for it. With just one kick, it sent him back to the ground. Then, they unleashed the thunder sound, but all their attacks were ineffective, not even harming a single hair on him. Taizi and the others approached their prey, each biting it. Ajama swung her hand, delivering a pukuking blow to the head of the fire dragon, causing it immense pain. It used its hand to throw all three of them away. At this point, all four realized they were truly powerless against a force capable of destroying the world. The deadly shadow was still chasing them. Jebra realized they still had a chance to win. The flow of fluid in its body was disrupted, so there was a weak spot on its body. The very spot where Adame had just delivered the cackling attack. The four superhero brothers called upon the demons within them to rise up, locking down the fire dragon. God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. Chico's and Fo, Sunny's rise. All their moves combined to form a giant disc that rested on its head. The dragon demon, 4 days ago, an hour ago, plunged straight into Ender's head, causing him to collapse. He'd been waiting for this for too long. You guys gave me such a wonderful gift. I can't pass it up. I have to devour it. He took a deep breath and devoured the dragon whole, under the astonished gaze of everyone. His muscles grew as thick as pillars. He unleashed his terrifying power, causing a massive shockwave throughout the area. Afazo, seeing that the situation was dire, knew that Ender had devoured the monster. He ordered his troops to retreat, while the CT robots would stay behind to continue the fight. Izo Bisokwai quickly left. His Gomes cells had changed, causing his body shape to change, and his skin color to black. He had eaten Ender to activate his Gomes cells. Before that, he had put himself in a state of self-destruction due to dieting. He replaced his cells with Ender's Google Maps cells, which is why he didn't eat the flowers. Sunflower Halo. From now on, all the materials in the world belong to him. His Gomes cells transform, his entire body bursts into flames. Rep attacks him, but he kicks them, burning them to ashes. Shani and Coco rush forward, but before they can even touch a single hair on him, they are instantly consumed by fire. His body has completely transformed. Even Toriko can't defeat him anymore. Victory is firmly in Grimm's hands. The smoke blinds him, and he rushes towards Toriko, but he deflects the smoke and punches her away. Both Toiko and Chi rush forward, but with a single blow, he incapacitates both Toriko and the cat. Toriko is furious. He activates self-destruct mode and summons his red demon. He wants to defend himself and not let that bastard touch anyone else. He rushes towards him, believing that the legendary materials of Akashia haven't been consumed yet, because that's what can fill his heart. He cuts through him, even if it means... Toriko poured all his strength into that blow. He didn't lose a single hair, and what's more, he retaliated, causing T to spit out blood. C's self-destruction process was complete. Now, I, Diko, could only lie there helplessly, letting the matchstick end my life. Just then, Azama approached, trying to stop him. Matsu also brought a sunflower, evoking old memories for him. If you want to go far, go alone. If you want to eat well, Eat together. Actually, you promised me, Diko, that you would cook Acacia's special menu, so you would risk your life to protect your comrades to the end. Seeing him rambling too much, Azama unleashed a blast towards him. His sphere created a huge hole in the ground. Everyone fell before his power. Toriko rushed out to shield him, saving Matsu's life. After taking the blow, he collapsed to the ground. Seeing that he had just escaped the self-destruction state, Azama knew he had exhausted all his life force. Azama didn't hesitate to give him her last precious sunflower, providing him with energy from it. Toriko woke up. Long's eyes sparkled like a dove's. His entire body's muscles were enhanced 20-fold, and his body emitted a strange light. He knew that Gryffindor had missed a worldly masterpiece. His body turned golden. His hair grew long as if sprayed with hair growth spray. He looked like Son Goku V2, his body radiating energy like sunlight, making his friends widen their eyes in disbelief. At the gym, Toriko rushed forward to attack him, but he unleashed a lightning strike towards Vissim, inflicting a fatal blow. Immediately, Vissim counterattacked, following Gryffindor's fiery, loving punches. At this moment, Gryffindor held the upper hand, arrogantly saying, "You don't stand a chance against me. I've eaten Ender, the legendary ingredient." Saying this, he delivered a fatal punch that sent Toriko flying, crashing into a rock and falling to the ground. Toriko knew the truth wasn't like that. The ingredient of Acacia wasn't Ender, but sunflower nectar, from the time he had been tending the Azama flowers. Knowing this from eating its nectar, Toriko felt his heart filled. He knew the outcome was decided with the power of the sunflower spreading through him. Victory was assured in his hands. Both of them gathered their energy and slowly approached their opponent, unleashing their final attack to finish him off. Toriko's punch pierced Vision's armor. One punch sent him flying to the horizon, reaching the highest point before falling to the ground. I saw him being punched. It was like fireworks exploding. The battle ended, and the sky regained its original blue color. Azamem ran to him. She couldn't believe the man she loved had done something so foolish. Seeing him stir, Toriko asked everyone to find something for him to eat. Shani wanted to refuse. Now she no longer saw any harmful electrical waves from him, so it didn't matter if he recovered. Azamem quickly squeezed out the last drop of nectar and gave it to him. That drop of nectar transported him back to his old memories, to the day he found the sunflower. The sunflower that Lee Diem gave to Mrs. Bong was so beautiful and radiant that Mrs. Azambi really liked it, so he suggested adding it to the menu as an appetizer and also the first dish on their menu. After that, the two lived happily together. They hunted together, cooked together, ate together, and gazed at the starry night sky together. Virim's departure ended all those good moments. He went alone to dangerous places to bring back the world's finest ingredients for her. He promised to return, and from then on, Lee Diem never returned, leaving his woman waiting anxiously. She was almost like a stone waiting for her husband when he finally came back. Lee Diem sincerely apologized to Azambi. Seeing him return made her very happy. He felt as if he had woken up from a long dream. He hadn't eaten anything so delicious in a long time, and it was all thanks to Azambi, who had cultivated those sunflowers with love. That's why its sweetness surpasses all the delicacies in the world. Not only that, it also helped him open the door to his forgotten memories. Now, the last sunflower had withered, and suddenly it bloomed again, revealing countless seeds inside. It turned out that the endless bees had inadvertently pollinated the last flower. Thousands of seeds were carried by the wind to the horizon. This breathtaking scene was etched into the memories of everyone on Gomes Island. Now Coco understood that the shadows he saw were the dead flowers. They had returned as seeds and been reborn, creating new life. The limousine of the woman named X-Shu arrived, and they were extremely surprised. The scene was created by thousands of sunflower seeds. A man inhaled too much pollen and sneezed, sending his subordinates flying out of the ship. Tina luckily managed to hold his team back, but not for 3 seconds. She also met the same fate, falling out of the ship. Toriko asked about the location of Acacia's menu. Hidden away, Alame knew nothing about it, only certain it was somewhere on this island. That's what I could say too. As soon as he landed, he was immediately frightened by the mysterious symbols carved on the pillars. He demanded to leave immediately. Hearing this, Miss Matsu emitted a strange smell. He immediately used his binoculars to see the symbols clearly. Just as he predicted, they were the recipe for Acacia Komatsu's menu. Although he couldn't fully understand everything written on the stone, he could grasp the basics: things you eat and enjoy with your teammates, gather the things you like, and cook together. Those words were exactly like what I had said before. He could eat anything. He liked the whole island, too. Simply put, when you like something, mix it together, and you've created a special menu. Suddenly, an earthquake occurred, and light emanated from the pillars, creating a gigantic oven. This was the secret. The true essence of the monument was being built at this very moment. The old masters and old ladies arrived, very proud of their children, who had deciphered the mysteries in Master Akosia's menu. Suno reunited with Azame after many years of not seeing each other, making Tina, who was beside him, so moved that she almost cried. VDM bowed his head and apologized to Ichi for the trouble he had caused. Ichi didn't care about that, only about his rumbling, empty stomach. Ichi came to congratulate Toriko's team for discovering Akasia's start food mystery, cooking dishes not on the menu so that the chefs and their teammates could enjoy those dishes together. It was just a very simple thing. Yet the veteran chefs couldn't decipher those secrets for a long time. So he devised a perfect plan to bring in the 4 heavenly emperors to help them decipher the secret of Akasia's menu. Everything was clear now. Time to go to the kitchen. They brought back many rare ingredients, including rainbow carrots, red pepper, ground meat, and so on and so forth. All the specialties from the mountains and forests of Akashia are gathered here. Sani and Toriko couldn't wait any longer and immediately put the food on the grill. Coco and Zin sprinkled pepper and soy sauce on top of the grilled goat skewers. They added a little chocolate. All the spices and ingredients were combined in this amazing dish. Everything was ready for everyone to enjoy. Toriko took a bite of the meat, and it felt like it carried the flavor of the entire island. On this side, Sali was extremely happy to be able to eat the clams. "Oh, sir!" They were served so many dishes under the culinary skills of Miss Matsu. The geese had another chance to brag. Without Mr. Matsu's help in finding the recipe in the ruins, how could we have this lavish meal? Hearing this, Miss Matsu Xuan immediately thanked them. "Thank you for the grace of Mr. and Mrs. Azame and Mr. Kiji." They were like a young couple, making Jiso and Mrs. Suno, who were eating dog food outside, feel a pang of envy as everyone ate together. The joy seemed to be doubled. Everyone was happy to eat with their familiar teammates. As the sun set, it was time for everyone to say goodbye. Gi DM wanted to stay on the island to take care of the ecosystem with Asama Ichi. Of course, no one objected. Before leaving, everyone had an allergic reaction and couldn't speak, only promising to meet again soon. Then the train took off, carrying them away from the beautiful island. After some time, the ecosystem was completely restored. Gi DM held Asama's hand and led her to the top of the mausoleum, where sunflowers with radiant glow were blooming, the wonderful material possessing the power of the sun. Besides that, there was a creature with mysterious power that could bring people closer together, the endless bee. It brought the couple back together, both of them like they were back in their youth, making up for the time they had been apart. From then on, they lived happily together until they grew old. The video ends here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments to support the channel. This will also help us improve our content even further.